Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have our 10X announcement for this weekend, and for the legendary champions from Void Legendaries, it's going to be Chris the Ageless. From Ancients and Sacreds, it's going to be Archbishop Pinthroy, Underpriest Brogni, Valkyrie, and from the Epics, it's going to be Scathix, Romero, Burangiri, and Duoden the Runic. Now, this is going to be a really nice PVE list of champions. Chris the Ageless, we all know, is going to be insane for he's pretty much like the king of PvE, right? Other than like Theodore and whatnot, but yeah, Frisk is so insane for anybody to pull, and there's a lot of people that are chasing after Chris, particularly because I mean he's really he carries the Hydra boss, right? As soon as I got my Chris, I was so happy because I was full autoing Nightmare. It was great. So he does provide AoE speed decrease on the A1, and he has an AoE hit on everything basically. On the A2, he has another AoE, places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion, then places 2 continuous heals on this self, increases the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn, incredible. And for the A3, places provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, and that's not even, there's no percentage or anything like that, it just happens as long as you have enough accuracy, and places a 60% increased defense on this champion for 2 turns, and plays a 30% increased speed buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. On a 3-turn cooldown, like this guy is insane. He's really good for pretty much every PvE content in the game, basically, and he's really great for Hydra boss. And for the passive here at the start of each round, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 50% of this champion's max HP, has a 75% chance of placing 60% decreased debuff, and a 50% decreased attack debuff on the attacker for 1 turn 1 hit. Like, I might be pulling for this guy on my free-to-play account. I might be, because I'm pretty close to Mercy. I don't have enough to get to Mercy, but I'm pretty close. And I would really love to pull this guy on my free-to-play. And so other champions we have like Archbishop Pinthroy, who is going to be really incredible for providing that increased accuracy. So you're able to land more of those debuffs that you want to place. And it's going to be another great one for Hydra boss, I would say. You could utilize him in arena even, so he's going to be providing that as utility. And he's also got the heals going on, and he looks really cool, right? He looks really majestic, I guess you could say. But on to the next champion here. We have the Underpriest Brogni, another really insane PvE champion that a lot of people want for clan boss, for Hydra boss, for Iron Twins. Like, he's really good. He's got the HP burn that he's placing, provides a lot of shield, and particularly his passive right here, whenever an ally under a shield buff is attacked, reflects 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield back to the attacker. Also heals the ally by 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield. So he's going to, like, I use this guy in Iron Twins in full auto and pretty much doing 1-minute runs. Like, he's so incredible at just sending a lot of the damage back to the attacker. So against bosses like the clan boss, Hydra boss, really insane champion. There's a lot of people that miss out on this fusion as well that are going to be interested in this 10X, but keep in mind guys, 10X events are super hard to try to land and get what you want. If you guys see some of my past videos, we try really hard to go for some 10X champions for viewers, for myself, and the percentage is so low because keep in mind guys, 10X event does not mean you have a 10 times chance of summoning the champion. What that means is you have a 0.5% chance of summoning the legendary like a regular summon rate. But when you hit that legendary, once you hit that 0.5%, then you have a 10 times chance of pulling that legendary. So all that really means is once you hit the legendary, that means you're going to see 9 more copies of that listed champion for 10X in the pool to have a chance to get it. But it doesn't sound as good as you think. It's still like a really low percentage, and that's something to keep in mind, especially along with the other legendaries that are added to the pool for this 10X listing, because you're not only going to be targeting that one, it's going to be multiple copies that are going to be in there. So we got the Valkyrie, the Underpriest Brogni, and the Archbishop. So if you're trying to target one of those, it's not always going to be easy, I guess you could say. For the Barbarians, we have the Valkyrie, another fantastic champion. This champion is, I think she was out from like the beginning. Yeah, I think she was out from like the very beginning. She's so insane. Yeah, she's really good, but she is going to be providing the turn meter manipulation on the A1. Now, this is something arena players utilize to have her go or open with the A1 so that she can reduce the turn meter of the enemy champions and just mess up the tuning of the team. And another thing that messes up the tuning of the team is their passive right here. The champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each time an enemy champion replaces a buff. Enemy champions will have their turn meters decreased by 10% for each buff they receive. Now you do need accuracy to be able to utilize this, and for the A2 here, which is what she's really known for, it's going to be the counterattack and the massive amount of shield that she puts on. There's only 3 champions in the game that puts out a counterattack on basically in the entire team. Skull Crusher doesn't do it the entire team, he doesn't do it on himself, but pretty much in that ballpark, it's those 3 champions right there. So Valkyrie, Skull Crusher, and Martyr. Now she puts out a ton of shield, really good in clan boss again. Really good. She actually hits really hard. Some people actually build them as a nuke for arena just to throw people off on defense. And yeah, she's really great in PvE progression. Now she is going to be helping you progress like through those dungeons that you're having trouble beating, but she's also going to be making the time a little bit longer because counterattack does a lot of animation, right? So it adds more time to the clock, but it's going to help you really progress in those hard, difficult dungeons that you have a hard time getting done. And she also has a increased defense aura in factions by 30%. So really incredible champion. She was actually my very first champion pulled on my account, by the way. Really incredible. So yeah, she's really good at every single level of whatever stage you are. Your early game, mid game, late game, end game. She could be utilized in every category. So Scathix, we have the next one here. It's going to be from the Lizardman, who is basically a really great cleanser that puts out a decent amount of shield at the same time as well. Scathix, there he is. Yeah, so he's probably one of my favorite epic champions as a cleanser. There are some other fantastic cleansers like the Skytouch Shaman, and there are some other ones as well, but he provides a cleanse along with a massive amount of shields, but he also has a mini strip on the A2, so he can potentially do well in arena. He can do well for you in, I don't know, let's say you're faction wars, you're going to try to strip those counterattack buffs, right? There's a lot of ways you can utilize this guy. And for the A1, he also decreases speed. Yeah, he's fantastic. Really good in Doom Tower as well. There's a lot of ways you can use him. And on to the next champion, we have Romero, who is from, I believe he's a Sacred Order. Now this guy, I don't really get to show too much love. I haven't really utilized him too much, but he is a healer. He does go well with a Juliana on the same team, attacks all enemies 3 times, and he is a defense-based champion. So he's going to be providing shields, some defense here I can see, and basically heals. So he's going to be a decent support-like champion. So I would say he is utilized in faction wars, and I guess he could be utilized in some PVE progression as well, but not the sexiest pull, I guess you could say, in terms of like quality and like just the skills, abilities alone. And on to the next champion here, Buranjiri. Alright, now Buranjiri is definitely one of my more favorite champions in the game as far as epics from Shadowkin. He is going to be providing Provoke on the A1, he provides AoE stun, and he provides shield and strengthen on your team. So this guy is going to be providing a lot of ways for you to survive and just stay alive, right? So he's going to be great in faction wars, really solid. He's also going to be providing a lot of CC for those waves in like Doom Tower or even dungeons. And yeah, I really like Buranjiri. He looks cool, right? He looks really cool. So on to the next champion here is going to be Duoden, who is going to be one of our newest champions from the Sylvan Watchers. Now he does have, he's one of the first champions with the taunt on the A3 here, and taunt is not that special of ability. The best way to look at taunt is it's like a worse version of veil, right? When you put a veil on your entire team, they're invisible, right? But they're able to take less damage if it's from an AoE hit, and you're only able to target the champion that's visible, right? Or still do an AoE hit. And that's basically what this taunt is. It's not a provoke. This taunt is going to basically make you the only one that's targetable, but the other champions, I guess they're not really protected, but he does provide the strengthen for, oh no, it's for himself, yeah. So he's not really protecting the other champions if you're doing an AoE hit to this guy, right? So it's a worse version of a veil. That's the best way to look at it. So he does have a mini cleanse on the A1, which is kind of cool, but it's not a consistent thing, right? 60%, it's not really consistent, so you wouldn't want to depend on this guy as like your dedicated cleanser. More like Doom Priest would be a better option there for that. And for the A2 here, he does attack all enemies, plays this shield buff on all allies equal to 50% of the champion's max HP, increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Now this is what makes him a little more interesting. So yeah, solid champion for sure, definitely serviceable in a lot of ways, and he looks really cool too. So those are the 10 champions we have for this weekend, guys. If you guys are interested in summoning for the Chris or the Valkyrie or the Underbreach Brogni, because those are more of the premium champions in this 10x event, then I wish you the best of luck. But keep in mind, guys, there's going to be a 2x. We just had a 2x Ancients, right? So it's going to be a 2x Sacred this next weekend. And there might be a fusion event coming up. So keep that in mind, guys. Just make sure you try to reserve your resources and have enough to do fusion events as well if you are interested in going for this champion and going for the fusion also. So I believe there's going to be a fusion coming up next weekend, but don't quote me on it. That is what I believe will happen. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you guys do plan to summon, once again, I wish you the best of luck. Hope you get what you want. And if you guys enjoy my content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video.